calling. I'm falling.
Hey y'all, welcome back, and welcome if you are new. My name is Sam and welcome to my channel. I have some easy and delicious weeknight meal ideas for you this week, so let's just get right into the video. Alright guys, so for dinner tonight I'm making crock-pot Thai coconut chicken meatballs. These are so good. I'm going to make some rice and some vegetables to go alongside it. So this is everything you're going to need. Back here I've got some sesame oil, some mirin, I've got some avocado oil, cornstarch, brown sugar. I've got a pound of ground chicken, some green onions. Here I've got some red curry paste. You're going to need a little bit of that. Some coconut milk, garlic, some fish sauce, chicken broth, some lemon juice. It calls for lime, but I don't have lime, so I'm just going to use lemon juice. Now if you hear anything in the background, we are cooking, we're dehydrating some turkey in our dehydrator, so I'll show you that. And that is going pretty good. We've got a few more hours left on that. So back to this, what I'm going to do, it says to mix the chicken, green onions, garlic, sesame oil, mirin, and fish sauce in a bowl, and then shape them into meatballs. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I will show you what they look like when I get them in the pan. Okay, so here are the meatballs. I just flipped these over. I'm going to take these when they're done and golden brown on this one side. I'm going to put them in my crock pot. I've already greased it. I've still got a little bit left to do. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this, put this in the crock pot, and then we will make our sauce. Alright, so I've got my meatballs in here. They're all cooked up. They're not cooked completely. They're still kind of raw in the middle. They're just golden brown on each side. So I've got those in there. I went ahead and sprayed the crock pot. Now I'm going to make the sauce. I'm going to add my coconut milk, my chicken broth, brown sugar, my red curry paste, and I'm also going to add just a tiny bit of salt and some white pepper to this. If you don't have white pepper, you can use just regular pepper. So I'm going to go ahead and mix that in this bowl, and then we will add this to the crock pot. Okay, so here is my sauce. It's all nice and mixed together. I'm going to go ahead and pour this all over the meatballs. Okay, and I'm going to put the lid on, and we're going to set this to high, and we're going to let this cook for about 2.5 to 3 hours. Since the meatballs are almost all the way cooked, it's not going to take very long for these to cook. So I'm going to let these cook for about 2.5 to 3 hours, and then we will make our cornstarch slurry, put that in there, and let that thicken up. So I will show you what these look like when they are all done. Okay, so my meatballs have been cooking for about 3 hours, and I've gone ahead and mixed up my cornstarch slurry here, and I'm just going to add a little bit of this to my mixture here, my meatballs, and let that thicken up. Probably won't use all of this. We'll see how it goes. Let's give that a little stir. I just want this sauce to thicken up because I want to spoon some of this sauce over some rice. And that looks like it's thickened up quite a bit. So I'm just going to put this on warm until my rice gets done, and then I will make my plate and I'll show you what it looks like. Forgot to add the lemon in there. It calls for a lime, but I didn't have a lime, so I just used a lemon. So I just added that in there and gave it a stir. Now I'm going to make my plate. Alright guys, here's my plate. I just have some rice here on the bottom, and I've got the Thai coconut meatballs on the top, and I've got some Thai style broccoli. I'm going to put a little bit of sriracha on top. I also put some sesame seeds and parsley and some red pepper flakes on top for a little bit of kick. But yeah, that's what we're having for dinner tonight. Tonight I'm making Salisbury steaks with gravy and some baked potatoes. Now I'm making it out of my Ultimate Crockpot cookbook here. Now the recipe only calls for onion soup mix. I've got this onion mushroom soup mix, so I'm going to use one of those. I've got an egg, golden mushroom soup here, some ground beef, some breadcrumbs, salt and pepper. Now I'm going to be adding in some Worcestershire sauce, garlic powder, onion powder, and some thyme, along with some sauteed onions and some olive oil. I may not need the olive oil. We'll see when we cook the ground beef if we need any oil or not. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to mix my Worcestershire sauce, soup mix, egg, seasonings, breadcrumb, and my meat in a bowl and get that all nice and combined. And I'm going to patty that out and get that in the skillet. While that's cooking, I'm going to chop up my onion into little slices, and then when the meat is done, I'll go ahead and put the onion in there and then put the meat patties in my crock pot. So I'm going to go ahead and get that all done, and then I'll show you what it looks like when I get the meat done and the onions on the stove. Okay, so I just flipped my patties here and they're searing up on the other side. As soon as these gets done, I'm going to put these in a greased crock pot that I've already got set up ready to go over here. And then I'm going to add about 1 to 2 teaspoons of olive oil to my pan, add my onions and saute those until they are tender, and then we will add those to the crock pot as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we will add the soup to the crock pot.
5, 6, 7, 8, dance the night away. I am ready for that heartbreak. That's usually how it goes. I have done a billion mistakes before. Maybe I am going crazy. Say you feel the same now that we dancing. I'm taking my chances. I'm going like 1, 2, 3, 4. Looking at you when you're on the floor. 5, 6.
Okay, so I've got my beef patties in here along with my sauteed onions. Now the reason why I like to cook the onions a little bit first is because to me I don't like them cooked in with this, so I like to cook them first so it makes them a little bit more tender. But you can just certainly chunk them in raw if you want to. But I've got those in there. Now I'm going to add in my soup, some salt and pepper, kind of mix that around a little bit, and then I'm going to put the lid on and we're going to cook this on high for about 3 to 3.5 hours. About an hour before this is done, I'm going to preheat my oven to 400, wash my potatoes really well, coat them in oil, salt and pepper, and put those in the oven for about 45 minutes to an hour, and then everything should be done right about the same time, and it's going to be absolutely delicious. So we're going to go ahead and put these on high and let these cook, and then I'll meet you right back here and we'll plate this up. Alright guys, here is my plate. I've just got my baked potato back here. I've just added a little bit of butter, sour cream, cheese, and some bacon bits. Got a salad with cheese, bacon bits, and a little bit of ranch dressing, and my Salisbury steak with onions right here, and it smells absolutely delicious. So yeah, this is what we're having for dinner tonight. Okay, so for dinner tonight, I'm just going to make a super easy and delicious chicken and rice. It's so good and it's packed full of flavor. So this is everything you're going to need. I've got some chicken breast here. I've got some chicken broth powder. I've got my water already in my pot on the stove, so I'm just going to add some of this to the water. I've got some rice. You can use whatever kind of rice that you like or prefer. I've got some pepper, seasoning salt, bay leaf. I've got some turmeric, some poultry seasoning, peas, carrots, and onions. If you have celery, You can add a couple of those to this, as you know, just chop it up into like little small dices and add it to it. But I forgot to pick some up at the store, so we're just going to skip the celery. But this is everything you're going to need. So I'm going to get you guys set up and we will get this going.
6, 7, 8, ready for that heartbreak. I'm going like 1, 2, 3, 4. Looking at you while you're on the floor. 5, 6, 7, 8, ready for that heartbreak. I missed you. Give me that kiss now. I just wanna hold you close to me. I really like you. Do you like me? Don't you wanna see what this could be? I am ready for that heartbreak. That's usually how it goes. I have done a billion mistakes before. Maybe I am going crazy. Say you feel the same now that we dancing. I'm taking my chances. I'm going like 1, 2, 3, 4. Looking at you when you're on the floor. 5, 6, 7, 8. Ready for that heartbreak. I'm going like 1, 2, 3, 4. Looking at you when you're on the floor. 5, 6, 7, 8. Ready for that heartbreak. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, baby, I am ready for that heartbreak. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, baby, I am ready for that heartbreak. 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 Where you go, I follow. Let's go out and dance the night away. I am ready for that heartbreak. That's usually how it goes. I have done a billion mistakes before. Maybe I am going crazy. Say you feel the same now that we dancing.
Okay, so my rice is almost done. It's got about 10 more minutes left to cook. So I'm going to go ahead and add in my chicken that I've already shredded. I'm just going to add that right in there. Now, if you don't want this as soupy, you can certainly not add as much water. But the rice is going to continue to soak up some of that broth. So it's going to turn out just perfect. So I'm just going to give this a stir and let this cook and finish cooking that rice, and then we will add the peas and give that a mix, and everything will be good to go, and then we will plate this up. Okay, so my rice is done. I'm going to cut this down just a little bit. And I'm going to add peas. Now, you certainly don't have to add carrots or peas or anything else to this if you don't want to. It's completely up to you. You can just leave it as just chicken and rice. But I like to bulk mine up just a little bit. So I'm going to give this a little stir, get that all mixed in. It doesn't take long for these peas to warm through. Now, you certainly don't have to make this much. I like to make a little bit extra because I like to have this for lunch throughout the week. Plus, it freezes really, really well. So, you can certainly hack this if you have a smaller family, or you can double this if you have a bigger family. So, this is pretty much done. I've already checked the seasoning. I don't need to add anything else. It's super, super flavorful. Just adjust it to your taste. If you want to add more salt and pepper to this, you certainly can, but I'm going to go ahead and cut this off and plate this up. Okay guys, here is my little bowl of chicken and rice. This is absolutely delicious. I love this. This is one of our favorites for the fall. And it's just so comforting. So this is what we're going to have for dinner tonight. Now you can dress this up however you want. You can add some chopped green onions on top, some parsley, whatever you want, but this is dinner. Okay, I am making the Pioneer Woman's Spicy Dr. Pepper pulled pork for dinner tonight. I didn't get up in time to put it in the crock pot, but that's fine. We can do it in the oven as per directions, but usually I put it in the crock pot. I just throw everything in the crock pot. I use 1 can of Dr. Pepper instead of 2, and then I let it cook for about 10-ish hours, and it turns out perfect. But If you don't have a crock pot, you can certainly do it in the oven. So this is how we're going to do it today. I've got my oven preheating to 300 degrees. I've got my big Dutch oven out, and I've got all my ingredients set out here ready to go. So for her recipe, you're going to need a pork butt. You can do any kind of cut, some Dr. Pepper, some onions, salt and pepper. I've got this honey garlic barbecue rub that I'm going to add to this. This stuff is so good, so I'm going to add that. And then this is chipotle peppers in adobo sauce. I just add the entire can to a blender, blitz it up until it's smooth, and then that's how I keep it. I just put it in a little jar with a lid, make sure it's airtight, and it keeps in the refrigerator for a very long time. So I add this to a lot of dishes, and you're going to need some brown sugar. So I'm going to get you guys set up, and then we will add everything to the crock pot. I'm going to go ahead and chop up my onions into, I guess, about quarter. I'm going to quarter those up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll put all of this into the Dutch oven. Okay, so I went ahead and just quartered both of my onions, and I kind of separated them and just kind of put them at the bottom of my Dutch oven here. I'm going to go ahead and add my pork butt on the top. I'm just going to give my hands a rinse, and then we will add our spices. Okay, so I've got my chipotle peppers here, and I'm just going to add just a little bit on the top, like that. And I'm just going to brush this all over the top, just so it gets evenly coated. And then we will add our spices.
I'm going like 1, 2, 3, 4. Looking at you when you're on the floor. 5, 6, 7, 8. Ready for that heartbreak? I'm going like 1, 2, 3, 4. Looking at you when you're on the floor. 5, 6, 7, 8. Ready for that heartbreak? You know the drama is never ending. Don't let it get the best of you. And all the fake friends just keep pretending. That's how the little things get huge. Paralyzing every pore. Oh, you feel it taking over you. To the center of your core. The lies are getting overused. When you are under the weather, getting caught in the storm. Do you remember? I told you if we dance in the blizzard, we are not getting cold. So keep on dancing, baby.
So now we're just going to place the lid on this, and then we're going to cook this for about 5 to 6 hours at 300 degrees. Check it at the 5-hour mark. If it's not tender, go ahead and cook it for that 1 extra hour. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll see you guys when it's done. Okay, so this is done, and it is super tender. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this, shred it up, remove any of the grease or fat that's in the pan here, and then just add the meat back in, and then we will make our plate. I've got some fries on cooking, so when that gets done, I will plate all of this up, and then I will show you what it looks like. Alright guys, here is my plate. I've got my pulled pork here with some barbecue sauce. I just made some potato salad to go with it, and some fries because my daughter doesn't like potato salad, so I've just got a little bit of both. I'm going to add some ketchup and black pepper to this, and that is what's for dinner. Alright guys, so let's just go ahead and get into this week's meal plan. Monday, we're going to make beef and hominy chili. I've been wanting some chili for a while now, so I'm going to go ahead and make that. Tuesday, I'm going to go light and make some teriyaki turkey rice bowls. It's so good. Wednesday, I'm going to make CROCKPOT maple whiskey glazed beef brisket. This is another good one. It's so filling and so delicious. Thursday, I'm going to use those leftovers from the beef brisket, and we're going to make beef brisket sandwiches. Friday, I'm not too sure, so I just left that one open. Probably leftovers. I don't know, but we'll see when we get there. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.